I wanna do something stupid. Okay. So, the reason why Shino, I'm gonna say that Rock Lee actually passed since he beat, I'm gonna say that he was fighting Shino instead, and Gaara fought some random other person. So yeah. So he says Sasuke, when they both wake up from the curse steal thingy, Kakashi says Sasuke that he's gonna train him for speed and also teach him a new jutsu. Kristen says, "Can I learn this jutsu?" He says, "Sorry, only Sharingan users." Sasuke smirks and Kristen goes, "Sharingan!" Out of nowhere he awakens the teacher. He pulls out the Tutomoe. He goes, "Now can I learn it?" He goes, "How do you have the Sharingan?" He goes, "Reasons, Kakashi, reasons. Reasons that I don't feel like telling you." He goes, "Wait a minute, didn't the Sage of Six Pack..." He says, "The Sage of Six Pack, Indra gave this to me as a gift. That helps me out." He goes, "Alright, well, I guess I'll teach you it." So, over the 1 month training, they learn Chidori and tons of speed techniques. Then, when Naruto would face Neji and easily destroy him, then after that, then all the matches would go normal until it's Christian's and Rock Lee's. So when it's time and he's still not there, Naruto says, "Where is he? He's supposed to fight Gaara." Out of nowhere, they see some leaves falling. Then boom, Christian, Sasuke, and Kakashi arrive. Christian and Sasuke were in the same drip. And Sakura, Naruto, and Ino are all and mostly every girl there who's like underaged is fangirling over both of them, except for Naruto, who's not fangirling over Christian because, well, it's his sister. Everyone's fangirling, saying that they look so cool. He says, "Well, I guess it's time for my match." He says, "Rock Lee, you ready?" He goes, "Right, I will use my full strength." He goes, "Rah!" Christian says, "That's nice to hear. Let's go." They start off with them both clashing each other in the face with a punch. He goes, Christian says, "Now I got this." Then he punches Rock Lee up into the sky. Sakura and Naruto both say, "Nice." Then he front flip, heel drops him to the ground. He goes, "Ha!" Then disappears. Everyone says, "Where'd he go?" Then he's punched in the gut to the side, to the ribs. He goes, "Argh!" He says, "This is strength of a lot." Rock Lee would take off his weight, and then the fight would not even get close to changing. Rock Lee says, "Even when my weight's off, it's still." He goes, "Argh!" Christian goes, "Sharingan!" Everyone looks and says, "How does he have the Sharingan?" He goes, "Sharingan!" Then the Rock Lee fight instantly changes. He goes, then he backflips all the way up to the top, saying, "I'm gonna kill you, JJJ," and says, "Chidori." Minato says, "That's Kakashi's jutsu." He rushes down, going, "Ah!" and speeds down. Then Rock Lee would go saying, "Dynamic entry." When Christian sees this, it's all in slow motion. He instantly blitzes to the side, then jumps forward, going, "Chidori!" Kakashi says, "No, he's gonna kill him." He goes and puts his palm out, hitting Rock Lee in the way that Sasuke usually does his Chidori. He goes, then a lightning thing goes right through Rock Lee. He goes, "Chidori!" Then he holds Rock Lee by his neck and rips it out, then dropping Rock Lee to the ground. Genma says, "And the winner is Christian Namikaze." Christian goes, "Bring my Phosphor." Next match, Sasuke Uchiha versus Gaara. They'd both jump down and go, "Huh." Then the match would start. So it would go pretty normal, like it would in canon. And then Orochimaru would put a kunai to Minato's throat. Minato would teleport straight to third, teleport him back to Orochimaru, and then the fight would start between the fourth Hokage and the third Hokage versus Orochimaru. They'd go, and they would pretty much destroy Orochimaru. Like, he doesn't stand a chance against these two combined. He barely did enough to the third Hokage. While this, Kabuto jumps in the ring. Christian jumps in going, and says, Sasuke, should we teach him a lesson? He goes, yeah, this is what he gets for interfering in my match. Sasuke says, you two don't. They all say, Sharingan. Then they rush and kick him right in the face. They kick Kabuto right in the face. He goes, ugh. Then they both say, Dual Chidori. Rushing in and hitting Kabuto with it. He goes, ugh. Out of nowhere, 4 figures appear next to Kabuto saying, you're weak, Kabuto. And it's the sound 4. He goes, oh. Christian's eyes are excited. He goes, finally a good fight. He goes, ah. When was it? He goes, Wada! And hits Jiroba right in the wall, saying, you were saying? Then out of nowhere, Kimaru would rush in for a Kidomaru would go for a punch. He said, ah! They say, watch out! He dodges below, kicking Kidomaru in the face, going, then a punch to the face, then a spin kick to the side. He goes, no, and says, burst rush, and punches him to the ground, going, sends him to the ground. He says, how would I think of a new technique? He says, Shadow Clone Jutsu! Doing a Shadow Clone. Then he aims straight for Jirobo. Then out of nowhere, he kicks him in the air. Then a clone comes and kicks him up even higher. Then 5 clones later with kicking him up. Then the final one goes. Then the real Christian goes, Chidori! Then cuts right through him. He goes, yeah! He goes, yeah! He says, then on his way down he says, Kadon! He says, fire style, dragon flame jutsu! Hitting him with a giant dragon flame. Then Sasuke says, lightning style, lightning ball, because he learned that from Christian. Christian learned the dragon flame and he learned the lightning ball. Hitting Jirobo with 3 lightning balls and disintegrating him. He goes, ah! And they'd both come in and go, Muda, 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 Muda. Orochimaru says, my goons! Then shoots a giant wind blast down there to hit Christian. He goes, Chidori! And cuts right through it, hitting Orochimaru. He says, my only go is Sasuke, and maybe Christian, because he's an insane hybrid. I want both of them. Now, you're gonna hand them over, or I'll kill everyone in this village. Summoning jutsu. Summoning giant snakes all over the village. Then they'd have their big fight. But then Minato would drive them away. Then Orochimaru would pull out his Kusanagi sword, going, ah! Minato would charge a Rasengan in one hand and a flying Raijin kunai in the other. He rushes towards him, going, ah! Throws the kunai. Orochimaru would dodge it. He said, but then in slow motion it goes right through him. He says, perfect. Orochimaru would go for a punch. Then Minato appears below him, going, Agabraza, and hitting him with a Rasengan. He goes, flying Raijin, level 2. Destroying Orochimaru. Then the remaining of the Sound 4 grabs Orochimaru and dips out of there. Third Hokage goes, fire style, dragon flame bomb. Hitting him with a giant flame bomb. But it doesn't really do a lot because they dodge out of the way. Then Gaara, with Gaara being insane, they have to fight Gaara. Christian and Sasuke both rush towards, going, Muda, Muda, Muda. Then they jump in. Then Christian goes, and Naruto would just dip and defeat him easily. Christian says, wow, Naruto's strong too. Sasuke agrees. And then that's the end of the Chunin exams arc. They're having a blast on their team missions. But then Christian is getting called more of a demon most of the time. And Sasuke is getting frustrated with it. His friend gets to keep on calling a demon. Both of his friends do. Naruto and Christian both getting called demons. And they don't do anything about it because they'll just be called the demon even more. So after a while, Sasuke gets sick of it, and he goes to Orochimaru. He says, I'm going with her. And one night, while they're all hanging out, Sasuke says there's an announcement. He's going to Orochimaru, and he's going rogue. Christian puts his hand on his shoulder, saying, I'm coming with you. Naruto says, you know what? I'm coming too. This village is crappy. All we do is get treated trash, while Naruto and Naruto are praised. And, people are always sorry for them for being related to demons. So let's just go. Sasuke says, I still want revenge on Itachi. So let's go to Orochimaru and maybe train for a while. Hagoromo and Indra would both agree to this, with Ashura being a tiny bit hesitant, but then he realizes that it's much better. Because he realizes that they feel his pain. They're like, yeah, like, why, bro? Like, why? Why do they treat him so bad? He's literally the Hokage's son. They shouldn't be like that to him. So they go along with him and say that he can go, allowing him, and they'll stay with him. And then all these three head out of the village. One night, Sakura sees them and says, no, don't go! All three of them say, we're going. Christian says, I'm leaving this sorry excuse of a village. She goes, then Sasuke would go and knock her out. Then they dip out of the village. Then the Sound 4 would offer them, all three of them, the pills. The Sound 4, Jirobo, somehow by Orochimaru, was healed and brought back to life. And basically the pills basically died and then put in the coffin. The Sasuke retrieval arc would go very different. Except it's the Sasuke, Christian, and Naruto retrieval arc. Then out of nowhere, when they arrive and they're in the coffin, that crowd, they try and stop them, but Jirobo put them in. Either way, they still would have broken out, and Choji would have taken care of Jirobo. Then would Kidomaru. Neji would of course take care of him. Then Sakon, Kiba would have took care of him. Then to Yuya, easily would have been taken care of, would be fighting Shikamaru, but then Kidomaru would take it over. But then it's really bad, because now they don't have anyone to take it to. Until the Jonin arrive. Kakashi, Kakashi, Guy, and Asuma and Kurenai appear, saying that they're not going anywhere with these three. Kimimaru says, why? They agreed to it. They wanted to come. One of the redhead said that he didn't want to stay in sorry excuse of a village. He says that everyone treated him like trash, called him a demon every day. Minato never actually knew that he and Naruto, because once the fourth Hokage walked by, they were all super nice. Minato would have never realized. So then Kimimaru has to fight them. But then, in the midst of their fight, when Kimimaru's about to get a thing, well, actually, I just realized Naruto would be along with them. Because he wouldn't need a curse mark pill, because he doesn't have it, and he basically goes. He's already out walking with Kimimaru. He says, Naruto, please come back. Naruto says, no. These guys are... I get treated like trash in this village every day. And whenever the 4th Hokage walks by, or Naruto or Taruto walks by, or Mom walks by, they're all act all innocent, like they didn't do anything. He says... Asuma says, putting the chakra into his arm thing, his fist things, saying, well, then we'll force you to. Then gets his chakra knuckles going. Naruto says, what a pity. You could have used those for something good. Green. Hello. So, basically, when this would happen, Naruto Uzumaki, so Naruto would go into his Kyuubi-eyed form, going and basically defeating, not really defeating, but defeating Asuma and Kurenai, going, them not even getting close, standing a chance. He goes, Muda, 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 Muda. Then Kakashi and Guy step in. Queen, you French? What do you mean? I am not French. Well, I mean, I'm technically part French, but I ain't French. This is just how I sound. Probably because I have a blocked nose. So, basically... When then out of nowhere the coffins would open with these two jumping out. He says, you two aren't going anywhere. He says, don't act like you don't know. They both disappeared, knocking out Guy and Kakashi with one shot. And then they walk out. After the Sand siblings come and help, Kiba, who's still there, who can still fight after defeating Thing, Kankuro, Gaara, Tamari, Shikamaru, Neji, all of them come in to go to stop them. But their attempts are fatal. Every time they go for... And it's time. When they go there, all three of them are saying, you shouldn't be here. We're leaving and there's no matter what. Kiba says, no, you guys aren't. You guys are assets to the Leaf. Christian says, more like waste of space. He says, whoever told you that? Christian says, all the villagers, idiot. Every single one of them kept calling me and Naruto demons, and they are hating Sasuke for being an Uchiha. He says, Sasuke's been stuck with those stupid fangirls his entire life and got sick of it. And he wants power to defeat Itachi. And I'll go along with him because I hate this sorry excuse of a village. He says, we'll fight you so then you won't go. He says, don't act like you're my friend, Kiba. And activates the Sharingan going, Sasuke activates his and Naruto activates the Kyuubi eyes. And they rush towards. With this fight, then Kiba would go into his two-headed wolf form, Neji going into his full power, the Byakugan, Gaara using his full power, all of them using their full powers against them. And then they start to lose badly. He says, damn it, let's you... Then, out of nowhere, Kiba would go for a giant finger over Fang. Then, out of nowhere, Christians and Sasuke's Sharingan turn into 3 Tomoe. Then they jump in, punching sensing the part of the rotation, and then punch Kiba right in the face out of the rotation. He goes, they say, then they both rush, but they're still not doing a lot. Gaara transforms into Shukaku, going, turns into a Shukaku. Then, out of nowhere, the curse mark spreads all over Christian's body, and so does Sasuke. They both have the bat wings. He goes, Naruto going into his one-tailed state, going, Christian says, Moongeist, beam, shooting the Moon Geist beam at them, actually doing a lot. Then all three of them use their strongest attacks. Naruto says, Vermilion Rasengan! Sasuke says, Chidori! Christian also says, Chidori! And they go and destroy them all, defeating them. And they say goodbye. Their curse marks for leaving and Naruto's chakra for leaving. Then they go. Christian can still use the one-tailed cloak and all that crap. He just decides not to because that overwhelms him. Christian, then they stop for a little bit and sit down. Christian tells Kurama that he'll release him, but he doesn't want the power. He just wants the potential. Kurama agrees, and Hagoromo and also Indra give him limitless potential, which means he doesn't have a limit anymore. He can go in. His also training is boosted, is stronger. So when he trains, he'll gain way more experience. Kind of like Broly, kind of, but less, because like Broly's overpowered. Broly was able to go toe-to-toe with Super Saiyan God Vegeta and Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue Goku in his Akari form. He's insanely, so basically he's got insane potential and insane strength going behind it. They agree, and now the Ninetales they can finally talk to. And Kurama, he goes, then they go out to the thing. No other village knows that these three have gone. Then they go to Road Village to eat ramen. They go and take a quick stop, and then they head to Orochimaru. All three of them. He says, "Good, Kibimaru. He says, "Good, you three are here." They say, "Yes, and we want training." Orochimaru says, "I'd like your reasons for being here." Sasuke says, "I want power." Christian says, "I'm sick of that sorry excuse of a village." Naruto says, "Same as Christian, I'm sick of it." He says, "Good, boys. I will train you for 3 years to get you as strong as possible." They go, "All right." 3 years later, Kiba and all of them are like the strongest at their peak. He says, one day Christian and Sasuke are sparring, going, "Ha!" Orochimaru's watching, saying, "Boys, you guys have gotten much better with your techniques." Christian says, "Thank you, Orochimaru." He says, "Now Christian, remember not to be too polite to everyone. Always add a little bit of sass behind it. That's how you can make people annoyed and then get down and to get under their skin." He goes, "Right." Christian and Sasuke are having a sword battle going. They both had the all three of them got the Kusanagi sword. And let me name their jutsu lineup. Christian knows the fire style Great Fireball Jutsu, the fire style Dragon Flame Jutsu, the fire style Fireball Jutsu, the Chidori Senbone, lightning style Lightning Stream, Lightning Ball, Chidori Stream, Chidori Senbone, and Chidori Blade. And also Wind style Gale Palm, Wind style Air Bullet, Wind style Wind Barrier, and that's basically it. Naruto's jutsu lineup: Wind style Gale Palm, Wind style Wind Barrier, Wind style Rasen Shuriken. Naruto developed a Rasen Shuriken because he would know Rasengan in this timeline. Also, knowing strongest state. Sasuke's jutsu lineup. I don't really know Sasuke's from Shippuden, so I'm gonna say he knows Chidori Senbon, Chidori Stream, Chidori Blade, Fire Style, Fireball Jutsu, Katon, Gokaku no Jutsu, of course, Dragon Flame Jutsu, Great Fireball Jutsu, and they know all kinds of other jutsu. They go, whatever. One day, Sakura saw Yamato with Kakashi on his back, Kiba, Neji, and also Choji and Shikamaru. They say, "What are you doing here?" He says, Sakura, oh yeah, Naruto and Taruto are there. I don't know why I didn't mention, but Taruto was there too. He got wrecked though. He goes, they say, "Please," Sakura and Naruto beg for them to come back. They say, no way they're returning to a village like that. Christian says that it's a sorry excuse and says, "We're elite," and then he puts Sakura and Naruto in a genjutsu. Sai would jump up for a sword strike. Naruto would jump in front with a kunai and break his blade instantly, and then kick him back. He'd go. He says they're stronger than before. Indra's in the front lines, helping him out. He says, then Christian with his Chidori says, "Chidori Senbon," and creates tons of Senbon that pins Yamato back. He goes, Kiba says, "Why you? Fang over fang!" Rotating, going. Christian says, "Chidori Stream." Sasuke would jump in front and say, "Chidori Stream." Stunning Kiba, then Christian kicks him back, going, "Nice try, buddy. But with us three, we're inseparable now. When you try and attack one of us, the other one jumps in front." Then all of them rush at the same time. Christian and Sasuke go, "Sharingan!" Naruto goes into his one-tailed state. Naruto would go into a QBI's form, which is the strongest three, Tomoe now. He goes, then they defeat all of them with a Then all of them rush. Then and then for the sake of complicity, they go. And the only one left up is Naruto. He says, "Please stop this." Everyone else is beaten down on the ground. He says, Christian walks up to Naruto saying, "Dear sister, I gave up on this long ago." He says, "Remember that all those times you got me beaten up for no reason because of your fake lies?" And throws her against a wall. She goes, "Gah!" Christian says, "Let him go. I don't want to make them suffer even more." They all sit down. They say, "Where are we?" They say, Christian says, "Well, you guys are awake. Now get out. I'm too lazy to drag you guys out, so just get out before Orochimaru steals all your bodies." All of them dip so they can do a new plan to try and get them back. when they report to Ladies United, she says they report that that Christian said that Orochimaru can take someone's body. Tsunade writes this down, saying that that's a useful feature against Orochimaru. Christian says, well, I guess we can get back to training. Christian would develop a brand new technique called Lightning Tracker. It's kind of like, basically, when he shoots out lightning, I'm going to call it Chidori Blade, and basically it's like, I'm going to say he develops this. It's like the stabbing thing with Sasuke's like Inferno thing, but it's Chidori. He goes, and this is it for this part.